So we brought the mower home from up north. We're going to do some work on it, and I'm going to try to edit a video together to show said work. I'm going to relocate the battery, preferably inside somewhere. I'm going to probably mount this one headlight from a Grand Am on the front instead of the little gimpy flashlight. I've already got tail lights wired up. Got to see about replacing the seat. It's all destroyed. I got to replace the clutch belt. I've got these beefier tires that are the same rim size as the ones that are on it, so I'll probably swap those. I'll run an exhaust and see if I can make it a little quieter. I've got a couple of go-kart pedals that I'm probably going to use to try and install a throttle pedal where the battery is. And then for the sake of it, I'm going to do a different, just curiosity-wise, I've got the stock muffler on it right now. We've got the usual pipe, and I've got this little high-flow muffler from a go-kart that's a bit smaller. I'm going to kind of monkey around with how it different sounds. So for the sake of this experiment, we'll start the engine without the muffler. So after we run the pipe, we'll see how that all sounds. Yeah, I've got to find space for the battery and figure that out. I might have enough space in here if I remove the old battery tray. I'm going to do some rewiring anyways because the charging system, the coil puts out power for charging, but the wiring isn't quite good enough to allow it to charge too well, so one of the projects for that. And this tire is constantly flat, so we're going to try and fix that. Alright. This thing, I'll switch the ignition switch to that of a Jeep one. It's a remake for Jeep, really old Jeep Grand Wagoneers. It's going to allow me to control the charging circuit a lot better. I'll have to use a relay to set up the kill switch. I've taken a whole bunch of steel crap off of it. That was for the mower deck and shit that we didn't need anymore.
Hopefully Allie's actually listening.
We removed the old plastic tray and kind of got it cleaned up in here. I replaced the bolt for the steering that was wobbly. I replaced the clutch belt, which seems a lot tighter now. Might put an additional spring on it. We've got nice big chubby turf track weight tires in the back there. Got that one resealed. I've got my exhaust piping run. Goes all the way down, and in the back it's got its own little rice cannon hanging off the back there at the moment. That's what we've got done so far anyways. Just kind of getting her cleaned up, and we got a lot of weight shed. I'm going to put the battery in here. In order to do that, because the battery's a bit big, I'm actually going to have to cut a fair section out of the bottom of the steel here to make space for the battery. But that's alright. It'll be a mild pain in the ass to change the battery, but it shouldn't be too bad, and that'll be alright. I'll make do. Sacrifices for the right reasons. Okay, so here's what we got so far. Exhaust is on and complete. It is mounted and routed all the way to the back. It currently comes out of the back with that rice can looking muffler from an old go-kart, which is actually down to size because the muffler here is a 3/4 and the pipe going all the way up to the engine is a 1-inch. We've got the bigger 20 by 8 by 8 inch tires on there. They just barely fit. I'm going to throw some paint on the exhaust, some high heat black. Might throw some paint on the wheels. I'm leaving it the original orange. I have not installed the throttle pedal yet, which will be on the left because the clutch is on the right. And like I showed her, we got the new clutch belt. Got the battery in here now. I had to cut away some steel on the bottom of this that made space for the battery. And I've got relays set up so the system doesn't argue with itself. We have a charge circuit relay here. No, sorry, I'm backwards. This is the auto shutdown relay. And this is the charge circuit relay. So in other words, when the key is on, these relays are both activated. This relay, when the key is on, in the ignition position, turns on the charge circuit so the engine can run. Because you can't leave the charge wire of the engine connected to the battery, it will drain it. And it turns off the auto shutdown relay, turns on the auto shutdown relay, because this is an automotive ignition switch, which operates differently than a magneto engine ignition switch. So the relay is basically taking the place of that. When the key is off, the relay is off, the relay grounds out the engine. So all that is hooked up. We've got our lights now hooked up. The gauge is LED red illuminate, just for voltage. I don't have an amperage gauge. That might be later. I might just replace it. But so far, so good. As this thing rattles so much, I'm going to just go ahead and put a little bit of pressure on the clutch because it gets noisy. So that's all that thus far. For the time being, I've just Gorilla taped the seat, which will hold it together better. The light is installed with Gorilla tape. Wiring is tucked up with Gorilla tape. I'm not using the original breaker anymore. I've got a couple of different fuses under there for the various couple of units, like the charge circuit and the lighting. Pretty simple. Removed a lot of steel. So, we'll get some more done. Friggin' shitty NASCAR select batteries. Hold a charge with it, damn. Hold a charge on her for a bit. Alright. Now for this thing, don't need the headlight on.